Welcome to Wasatch Weekends for this Friday, August 8th edition. I'm your host, Ben Roof. On today's show, we've got Park City Film joining us to talk about their upcoming fall season, kicking it off with Asteroid City. And then we've got a doctor coming on to give us some tips on how to avoid the flu as we start to move indoors this fall. But first, a quick local announcement. Park City Song Summit is kicking off this weekend with 2 days of incredible live music from world-class performers at venues all over Park City. That's going to include Canyons Village, the OP Rockwell, and the Cabin. And of course, also tonight is the Anti-Gala, and that's going to be at the Utah Olympic Park. It's going to have extreme tubing, zip lining, and an alpine slide, all available for free, as well as live music, food, and a live auction. But first, let's kick things off with a quick look at the local weather.
This weather report is brought to you by Sun and Ski Sports, your new mountain sports headquarters.
Welcome back to Wasatch Weekends. We are once again joined by Katy Wang of Park City Film. Welcome to the show, Katy.
Thanks for having me.
So, it's opening weekend?
Opening weekend, 29th season, hard to believe.
Yeah, it's definitely hard to believe. So tell me what you guys have going on for your opening weekend.
Well, first I want to say we're super excited to be back in action. We've done a lot of upgrades over the past year. So new seats, new screen, better sight lines. So if you haven't been to the theater before we closed in June, definitely come back. You'll want to come back this fall and check out all the new stuff. We've got new blackout curtains, like all these great fancy things, and great accessibility accommodations. So every film page now on our website is linked to our new accessibility opportunities. And so if you want to request ASL interpretation, or you want a slightly wider seat, or you need a spot for your wheelchair, all of that is now available through our website. So we're really excited about that kind of meta piece of our new season. But more specifically, this weekend, we're opening up with Wes Anderson's new film, Asteroid City, which I am a huge fan of Wes Anderson. This is, just immediately up his alley of just the beautiful settings, the great attention to detail. It's set in 1955 in this fictional town in the American West. And it's about this amateur stargazing group who descends on this little town, and then life-changing events happen that spectacularly disrupt this whole convention. So, just great dialogue, just a list of characters, of actors, Scarlett Johansson, Tom Hanks, on and on and on, just all of the actors that you have come to know and love through Wes Anderson's films. So it is absolutely within his genre and just takes it up to the next level. So we're excited to have that up on our screen for our opening weekend this weekend.
Well, I'm definitely excited for that opportunity. It's not one that I've had had the opportunity to see yet, and I'm definitely a big fan of Wes Anderson. So, with the new season kicking off and everything, so you've got Asteroid City coming up, and then what do you have after that? Do you have anything else coming this weekend for opening weekend?
Nope. So just this weekend, it'll just be the three nights. So tonight and Saturday night at 7 o'clock, Sunday at 6, which is our normal show times. You can get your tickets online in advance at parkcityfilm.org, or just if you have a change of plans or just want to be spontaneous, as most moviegoers do, just roll on up and we'd be happy to sell you a ticket at the door. I do want to give a shout out to PJ Builders, the underwriter for this weekend's film. They've been a great supporter of ours for many, many years, and they've wanted to help us open up in style and support this film. So we're excited about that. But no, we have great films planned for the next, I think we're programmed out for the next 6 weeks, actually. So you can check that out on our website, of course. And then we have some free screenings planned. We are not done with our pop-ups. We thought we were, and then we had some great opportunities come up. So we'll actually be going to the Pendry Plaza up at Canyons Village the weekend of September 22nd with 3 films each, with a different film each night. So Friday night will be Princess Bride. Saturday night is a film called called Nothing's for Free. It's a new documentary about free ride mountain biking. And on Saturday night, Sunday night rather, we'll have Marcel at the Shell with shoes on. So all free, 7 o'clock screen time. It's on an LED screen, so we can start before dark. But just a great way to, maybe check out a different part of town that you haven't been to, check out some of the great restaurants up at Pendry. It's all free and open to the public. So if you just want to catch those last beautiful fall days, we hope that folks will come out there and enjoy it with us up at Pendry Plaza.
Well, it sounds like an excellent opportunity to kind of enjoy a fall sunrise or sunset there and enjoy Princess Bride, which is definitely one of the all-time classics.
Absolutely. My younger daughter has a stuffed fox. Its name is Buttercup. So when I told her what we were programming, she goes, "Oh, I can bring Buttercup with me to the movie." So she is a fan as well at age 11.
Oh, that's
so
fantastic.
It is an enduring film for sure.
I mean, it's one of the great things about that movie in particular. It's got a little bit of something for everybody of all ages. So let me ask you this then. As you guys are starting to move into the winter season and the fall, is there anything special you guys have coming up? Any special events, any fundraisers, anything like that?
So special events, we're actually going to be back at the Twilight. So we're revisiting the Twilight Drive-In. We were at the Utah Olympic Park the past 3 years, and we weren't able to get back there this summer, but we're going to Deer Valley actually in October, which is really exciting. So a new partnership for us. We're still working with Dragonfly Media Technologies, so LED screens, again, so we can start before dark, but we're going to preview Matchstick Productions' new film, The Land of Giants, on October 7th, which is a Saturday night. It is a paid screening, so $40 per car, up to 3 people, $50 if you have more than that. And just a great way to kind of celebrate the ski season, get out, under the stars again in your cars. You've got the FM transmitter, so the sound will come through your awesome sound system in your automobile. And just a fun way to bring the community together. We have some fundraisers planned a little farther out, but not details to, of course, announce about that. And then, of course, our biggest fundraiser of the year is the Sundance Film Festival. So if you'd be interested in signing up to be a volunteer for that, the next couple of weeks we'll release that schedule. And we have shifts all throughout the festival. You get free tickets to either see a film at the festival or come back and see a film with us at the Jim Santee Auditorium after all the crowds have abated. So we've got some fun things planned and are certainly looking forward to engaging people in very, numerous ways throughout the season again this year.
Well, let me ask you a little bit more about that then, just the volunteer opportunities. I'm sure that Park City Film is always looking for a little bit of help here and there. And if people are looking to get involved with you guys, how would they go about doing that?
So on our website, in the upper right-hand corner, there's the volunteer tab, or at the very bottom of the page, if you scroll down on the main page. And then it has our calendar of events and all of the different time slots that we're looking for volunteers for. So you can look at your schedule and say, hey, great, Sunday night at 5:30 or 4:30, I've got some time available. And they're really only an hour and a half long, so it's not a tremendous amount of time. But then you have the opportunity to go watch the film for free and stay. And then we give you an extra ticket. So if you want to bring someone with you to watch the film with you, so you're not sitting by yourself, you can do that as well. Or if you've already seen the film or want to come a different night, you can absolutely come back with your 2 tickets and come to see a film another time. But we have people do everything from make popcorn to help sell tickets, to tearing tickets at the door, to doing a survey that helps with our grant. So we've got lots of different opportunities, just depending on where folks are most comfortable. And during Sundance, it's kind of that times 10 because the crowds are, exponential compared to what we see on the weekend. We'll see about 50,000 people through our venue during the Sundance Film Festival. So a little more intense, kicks it up a notch during the festival, but it's a lot of fun to just see all these other film lovers coming in from all over the world.
I bet that's incredible, just having all of those people show up and just really getting that huge undertaking underway. I would imagine that it's a little bit of an extra hassle, though, to just have that many more people. Is there anything that you guys do throughout the year that kind of helps you get prepared for just that volume of filmgoers?
No, not really. I mean, we've been doing it for so long. That's how we started when our venue was created in 1995, when they renovated the Park City Library building. It was the original high school for Park City. And so they renovated the theater in particular where we are, which was the original auditorium for the high school. And Sundance said, listen, we're looking for a new venue. They approached the city. If you are updating this building, we will put in this state-of-the-art sound and projection system, state-of-the-art at the time, and obviously we've updated over time. Then we'll start showing films here during the festival. And the community members, the Park City Arts Council, said, great, we'll help you with volunteers, we'll sell concessions, we'll help take tickets. But in exchange, we'd love to get some Sundance film festival films throughout the rest of the year so our community can enjoy them when there aren't so many crowds, although so many crowds in 95 is probably much smaller than we experience these days. But that's kind of how we started. And that's kind of the relationship started then. And then Park City Film became its own nonprofit. But we've continued that relationship that every year during festival, we gear up and kind of switch modes and become, master concessionaires and curate films, food from local vendors, which people love. So we really take it seriously because, there's so much about movie going that, part of it is just the experience of being in the theater, but, having a full belly, enjoying good food, the companionship, the camaraderie. I mean, all of that just adds to the whole experience. And year after year, people say, this is my favorite venue because you have the best food, you have the best volunteers, and it's just, you can feel the love of cinema kind of surrounding you. And that's something that we just, it's just an exceptional experience and something we love to do every year. And of course, it benefits us financially, but really it's about just creating this amazing experience for people coming here for Sundance.
Well, it's certainly a world-class event without any peer worldwide. And Katy Wang, thank you so much for joining us, telling us about all the wonderful things we can do without the crowds, and for giving us a little bit of a primer on the Sundance Festival.
Thanks for having me.
Well, and don't forget, you can always go check out their website for more information about their upcoming films and opportunities to volunteer and donate. Katy Wang, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you.
And we'll be right back after a short break. Welcome back to the show. A little bit earlier, Gretchen Pleshaw had the opportunity to sit down with an expert on infectious diseases to talk about some ways we can avoid catching the flu this fall. Let's take a listen.
Welcome back to the show. I'm your host, Gretchen Pleshaw. I am very, very thrilled today to interview Paul Michalecki. He knows all things, Dr. I should say, Paul Michalecki, sorry about that, all things about the flu season, Chief Medical Officer, and I am so excited to interview you. How are you doing?
I'm doing well. Thank you for having me this morning, Gretchen.
Of course, of course. So, Paul, I am going to dive right in. I get very nervous. I get so scared about getting the flu. COVID was awful for me. I want to know all things about preventative ways, like not getting the flu, what I should be doing, what I should be eating, what I should do if I do get the flu. And I know you're just the man to ask.
That's quite a lot to unpack there, but ultimately we know the flu is contagious,
yes.
And the best protection is typically prevention. And so we do recommend an annual flu shot as well as COVID vaccine in order to give ourselves the best protection against the viruses. We know that we see some different variants come out as the flu and COVID are mutating and is pretty common. That's why when we look at an annual shot, we're getting the latest strains that are out there to give us the best protection possible.
Okay, so you are saying that we should get both the COVID shot and a flu shot together.
That is what we're recommending. The Department of Health and Human Resources looked at whether it was safe or not and recommended that we can get them both together. And as you can imagine, schedules get kind of busy. So if you have the chance to get one, we recommend getting both as we're heading into the fall this year.
Okay, that makes complete sense. And as far as the flu, a lot of my friends are teachers for elementary school, and I was wondering what they should be doing to really prevent, I know it's hard with kids especially, but to prevent getting the flu that's been going around here like crazy lately.
Now, as kids have gone back to school, we're seeing people coming from the outside to the inside, and so it increases the risk of transmission.
Mm-hmm.
We're expecting the flu shot and COVID vaccines out in the next week or two, so we do recommend getting vaccinated as soon as possible. We also recommend that if you do start feeling symptoms, to stay home. Protect yourselves and others around you and encourage those in addition to yourself that are more susceptible and may have underlying health conditions to make sure they get vaccinated as well.
And I love that you said that. Simplistic, but so true. If you don't feel good, stay home. It's not a hard concept, right? Simplistic, but it is truth. Don't push it. You don't want to get other people sick that might have a weaker immune system, etc. Do you have specific kind of food that maybe we should be eating or vitamins that we should be loading up on to make sure that we don't get the flu?
That's a tough one because people have looked at that and tried multiple different things.
Right.
We can try to stick to a healthy, balanced diet.
Hmm.
We haven't been able to show that any one vitamin or particular regimen is necessarily better, but we do look at getting appropriate rest, eating a balanced and healthy meal. And as we kind of said, if you get sick, stay home, take care of yourself, and try to protect those around you.
I had another question. I just personally was thinking about this earlier this morning. If you are feeling run down and you take the days off and you're feeling better to go back to work, go back to school, whatever it may be, should you wear a mask even if you're feeling better to maybe protect others even more? I just, I've been seeing recently at grocery stores, etc., people wearing masks for various reasons, obviously, but is that something that you feel will help spread, or not spread the flu even further? Or is that kind of not something?
Well, the mask can be kind of a polarizing subject, and
Right.
it's one of the things that we don't necessarily know why patients or people are wearing masks. Some of them may be undergoing chemotherapy or treatment for underlying medical conditions. Or in my wife's situation, we take care of our 92-year-old father. And so part of it may be protecting yourselves from getting sick so that you don't transmit that to other people. And so if you're feeling symptoms and you have to go out, it's oftentimes a good idea to wear a mask. Or if you're going into your physician's office where there may be other people that are sick, it may be a good preventative technique in order to protect yourselves as well as others around you should you have symptoms.
Okay, that makes complete sense. And I hate to admit this, but I am one of those women, well, humans, I should say, people, that Googles all the symptoms I have and whether it's a cold versus the flu versus coronavirus. If you would get the flu, how many days do you recommend staying home? Because I have seen anywhere from like 3 days to a week. What do you recommend?
So it really depends on your symptoms.
Right.
Typically, you're looking at how long you run a fever and then how long it takes you to clear that fever and become symptom-free. Typically, when your body's responding to the illness, you're looking at that peak viral load or how infectious you are. And then when you start breaking your fever, then typically your body's got ahead of the virus and you're starting to clear it. So we recommend at least 24 to 48 hours after you've been without a fever, without medication. So if you're using Tylenol or Advil to break the fever, you're not quite clear. You want to be medication-free and fever-free for about 24 to 48 hours before going out.
Okay, that makes complete sense. And is the oldest saying true to starve a fever, feed a cold, or is that just something my grandma used to say?
I think that's more of a kind of a old wives' tale.
Okay.
I think staying hydrated is key. In today's illness, we don't want to get dehydrated and exacerbate or make worse some underlying health conditions. In terms of listening to your body, if you're hungry, your body's telling you something. Listen to your body. Don't try to push through things, but stay hydrated.
Okay, that is very good. Thank you. I won't tell my grandma, my Mima, that. I'll just say that she was right. My last question was, I know hydration is
Wink, nudge, nudge.
yeah. Hydration is such a big part of, like you were saying, really feeling better, getting better. Is there any, obviously water, good old water, but electrolytes, etc., is that something you really want people to focus on? Or, because I always go into the grocery thinking, I'm dehydrated. Should I get Pedialyte? Should I get Gatorade? Should I do the new packets they have for, it adds more hydration to the water, that type? Is that something you buy into, or, yeah?
Water is probably the safest.
Okay.
When you start looking at some of the supplements, they add added sugar as well as sometimes salts. And you need to be careful if you have underlying diabetes or congestive heart failure that you're not putting something in your body that you don't really want to add.
Okay.
So water is probably the safest. It's something that if you do have questions, that recommend talking to your clinician about what may be a safe alternative for you.
You are awesome. I am so happy I got to speak with you. I would dare say I'd ask you for your email, but I think that you would get a little annoyed with me blowing up your inbox every day asking you all these questions. You're so amazing, and I'm so happy that you're a doctor, and thank you for helping all of us the way that you do.
My pleasure. And we do have information around our vaccines on caremore.com/flu. So
Okay.
there's additional information out there in case you have any questions. Happy to help.
You're amazing. Thank you so much. I really appreciate you. And thanks for getting up so early and hanging out with us.
My pleasure. Thank you for having me.
Of course. And keep it right here. We have more of the show to come.
This weather report is brought to you by Sun and Ski Sports, your new mountain sports headquarters.
Well, that's all the time we have for this Friday edition of Wasatch Weekends. Don't forget to tune in tomorrow for a special 1-hour Saturday edition where we're going to talk a little bit about adopting pets and get some tips and tricks for starting the school year off on the right foot. Until then, this is Wasatch Weekends and I'm Ben Roof, and we'll see you tomorrow.